All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Jeff. Man, well, our mission is to bring speakers from all over the world that share their experience, strength, and hope in their journey in health, wealth, or relationships, right? And leaving you, our guests, with empowering solutions that you can take right now from the show and put them into place to help reset your life, refocus your life, and get re-engaged and move forward and live in that life, that purpose that you're all meant to live, right? And oftentimes, then I'll also have shows just for myself and kind of give you a peek at who I am and speak in those same areas. We talk about health, wealth, and community and all the little things that fall underneath that. I got to tell you, this is what I'm talking to you about now. Because also, in addition to all that, we really talk about and get into that gift that we all have, that excuse smasher, that is thing that gives us an upper edge if we only used it more. And that's that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that conversation you're having with yourself about yourself. Either you're talking to yourself or you're listening to old negative, limiting beliefs, luggage that is weighing you down. Right. Hey, my name is Jeff Tyson. I'm the host of Conversations with Jeff, and I'm known as the Comeback King. And I got that name from people that have seen me go through life just like many of you have, right? Getting knocked down, getting back up, going through limiting beliefs, going through, low self-worth, going through hiding out behind an image that I wanted everybody to see on the outside, but on the inside, I was medicating myself as an early child, from alcohol to drugs to athletics, being a star and women and all that stuff, just to kind of hide behind the messaging that I had begun to believe as an early child about how limited I was, how unworthy I was, how unnecessary I was. Hey, if this resonates with you, raise your hand, drop a note in there and let me know. Also, let me know where you're coming from, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever platform you're on. And lastly, make sure you show like and notification and share this message as often as you can, right? So today, and yesterday or Tuesday of this week, we started this. It was a two-part piece, and we started it, and we lost power and internet and all that stuff. So I had about 12 minutes into that, so I'm trying not to repeat all of that stuff to you. So go back and check that out. I think there was some really strong nuggets at the beginning of that message. Please go back and check it out. And if I do say something you heard on that message, probably needed to hear it again. Right. So let me just kind of get started here, and I brought some notes along because this topic about procrastination and what do we have the title? Procrastination, demolition, demoing that, restructuring our lives after we demo it. Why procrastination, you might ask? Well, let me tell you why. Because oftentimes on these shows, I'll give you a little glimpse of, as I mentioned, my life and where I'm at, with the hopes of giving you something that you can use to continue to elevate your life, get yourself prepared for the next battle, right? Because, they call me the Comeback King for a reason, because life is about comebacks and how we get through them. So I know I'm talking to comeback kings and queens right now. I know that's who's out there that's getting this message. So anyway, man, my life in the last few years has been really stuck in different types of procrastination at different areas of my life. And whenever that's happening, I know I'm not the only one, and I know I need to pay attention to it, figure out some things I can do to get better and get through it so that I can share it with you guys. Because big part of procrastinating for a long part of my life was being able to use this gift that I believe I'm meant to serve with, and that is to help people understand that their magnificence is in them. And like me, that there's a way to forgive yourself for the things that you've done. There's a way to get over the low self-esteem, the self-worthiness. There's a process involved in not shaking that stuff off, but peeling off the layers, right? One layer at a time, low self-esteem, one layer at a time, resentments, one layer at a time. Am I worthy? Till you get to what the real core is, right? What's really stimulating all of the negative things that are going on. And that's not what we're going to talk about today, but I do want you to know that we have the ability to get down into that space. If you're out there looking for that kind of help, hit me up. Give me a note. I'm going to send you my calendar link here in a second so you can get that whole that thing running here. Let me see if I can get that out here now for you. I encourage you to just hit me up and let's have a quick chat. Oh man, because here we go. It's running now. So, where we going? Here we go, baby. Yeah, there's the right one. Yeah, that's all contact information from him. We'll leave that on my calendar. Link is also in there. I encourage you to look me up, hit me up, and let's just have a conversation, right? That's what it's all about. So, procrastination is a thing. And again, I'm just going to highlight some notes here because I love this topic and I can talk about all kinds of things around it. But I asked the question, are you delaying your dreams and your goals? Are you caught in cycles of missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential? Are you knowing you're meant for more, knowing that you can do great things, knowing that, if you just had this, whatever this is, you can step into that next level. If that's you or your friend or your relative or your family member, make sure you guys pay attention to this and share this information, right? So we talked about, and I know there's some deep things around why procrastination, like fear, self-worth, and really digging out the things from the past that show up, right, when opportunities present themselves. I know all about that. But I just want to talk about some subtle things that are happening to many of you right now. And then say yes or no in the chat when you hear it come up, right? And there's a whole lot of them. I only have 4, I think, to talk about. But there's a whole lot of little behavior patterns that you can identify with. To say, oh, man, that stinking thinking. We like to talk about that stinking thinking is kind of running the show. I know it is. I should be doing something. This is pretty easy, but I'm putting it off, right? So the first one I have in there is indecisiveness. Struggling to make simple decisions. Ooh-wee. I'm talking about simple decisions, like going to the restaurant, picking something from the menu, deciding what kind of movie you want to have, deciding, I like to wear the same kind of t-shirt because my billionaire mentors have said, hey, make that part of your life simplified, right? So this is a simplified way of doing things, and that's why you see me in gray and black t-shirts all the time, right? Because I know if they can do it and they've had the success, I need to kind of do that because that way it buys back time for me to think about other things. But anyway, so are you being indecisive in simple things, let alone the major decisions, right? We have to have a whole conversation around making decisions because most of us don't make any decision, any real decision, most of the time. Think about it. When's the last time you made a real decision and not operated out of what you're used to, operated out of a set pattern, getting up in the bed, you get on the same side of the bed, take the shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, go to work, come home, play around with the kids, watch the news, read the paper. Hope you don't know that too much of that, right? And then start all over again. So what kind of decision making did you do that day? Ask yourself that question and drop it in and say, hey, Jeff, I'm a great decision maker. Grade yourself on decisions, right? Anyway, second one is constantly second guessing yourself. I know when I started this journey to be here in front of you today, it was like, oh man, nobody wants to hear you, Jeff. Oh man, who do you think you are that you have something to say? Oh man, Jeff, remember that time? Woo! Hey, I know I'm not the only one having those experiences. But anyway, drop that chat in there and let me know if that's you or not. But I want to say this too. You, those logical thinkers who oftentimes are the perfectionists in this life and in this world, I want to say this to you. How's that working out for you? How many times have you missed opportunities because you had to get just one more thing right? You had to dot one more I, you had to cross one more T, or you had to evaluate something that was already good and ready to go, but you had to do it one more time. Who is that out there? And listen, I'm sending you love. I'm not making fun of you, right? I'm just kind of clearing my screen here. That's not what I'm doing here. I just want you to think about it because this applies to everybody, right? This applies to everybody. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to become great. Zig Ziglar, man. My man, Zig was a bad boy, right? So if that's you out there, just get started. Done's better than perfect, right? Execution trumps knowledge 10 out of 10 times, baby. Execute, take the risk, get started. Let me know where you're coming in from too. So we talked about indecisiveness, perfectionism. Yeah, I like this one. This next one is excuse making. And mostly, are you making excuses to yourself for yourself? Not about other things, but are you making excuses that directly relate to you? Oh man, I'll just give you an example. Hey, I'll spend some time preparing for the. I had this. Let me just tell you, right? Woo, man, I'm guilty of all these things. So let me and excuse me. I don't make excuses, but sometimes I do. Right? The excuse is kind of like, well, I don't have that person on my team right now, so I can't get it done. So it just sits there and it festers in my head. I know I have to get it done, like creating content or scheduling speakers or responding back to people that want me to speak on this show, all that stuff, right? And I just put it off. I make an excuse. Well, I don't have the experience. I don't have the time. Yada yada yada. But it's a deeper reason for that. So who's out there making excuses? And remember, I told you, well, I may not have mentioned it on this show, but look, we all have equal playing field when we talk about the conversation we're having with ourselves about ourselves and being able to change that. And I believe that that can change your life over time. That little thing called conversations with yourself about yourself, that negative chatter, the strong voice, the weak voice, the wolf and the lamb, or whatever you want to call it. Paying attention to that. That's number one. I'll get back to what I'm talking about. Becoming aware of what that is doing to your life, man. While you're still standing here in the same spot 5 years from later, 10 years down the road, what voice are you listening to? Who are you looking at in the mirror? Who are you responding to and when I look back at you in the mirror? I've been really looking in the mirror, man, at myself. Are you willing to do that? More importantly, if you don't like what you see, are you willing to take some action? Do something different. That's all it takes. Willingness, making your decision, and then taking massive action. Are you worth that? I believe you are. I'm asking again, are you worth that? I'm going to tell you again, I believe you are. So anyway, where I came from, that's a little bit about me. But anyway, so excuse making and then, avoidance, putting things off. And some are uncomfortable. A lot of things you put off are really uncomfortable things. And I get that, man. Especially the harder things. What's up, Jackie Brown? I see that. Right. Appreciate you. So we're talking, Jackie, about these things and then avoidance. We're putting off tasks, uncomfortable tasks, and they have the highest return. Uncomfortable tasks, putting off the high return. That's the obvious one. But I'm talking about the smaller things in life. The habit begins, you put off everything. Put something down that you can put away, but you come back later and put it away. So you wasted all that time to come back and it's just stacking. Your mind's thinking about it. So you're stacking up things that drain your energy because you know you got to get them done. Jeff, I'm talking to Jeff now. Everybody else out there, let me know if that's you. All right? Avoidance. I love this quote. The greatest amount of wasted time is the time not getting started, by Dawson Trotman. The greatest amount of wasted time is the time we spend not getting started. How many things have you started and said you're going to start, but you never started? How much time and energy did you put around that whole thing? And days go by, weeks go by, and you're still in that same spot. Ooh-wee. Let me know if that's you. I know it's me at times, right? So those are just 4 things, and there's a whole lot more right around. And the deeper levels are fear, self-worth, right? And the past. Our past dictates our future. Our human brain, this magnificent device that we have between our ears, right? I like to think I have a large brain because I have a very large cranium, right? And so that brain, man, it's conditioned, guys. It's conditioned to do what? We already know. It's a 2 million-year-old brain or longer. And I always make the joke about the caveman and the dinosaur and the 2 buddies out there just strolling along and they see this dinosaur. And as the dinosaur is getting ready to eat them up, they think he's smiling at them, but he's not. He's sizing up which one's going to be his lunch. And the slowest one ends up being the lunch. So they learn, next time they see that, right? The brain automatically, and that's what controls us. So our thoughts from the past give us the gas or take it away. Which one is it for you today? Are you dragging all that stuff uphill? right? Or you're going uphill with your brakes on. You're going uphill in life with your brakes on. Woo! Anyway, so with all those things, I listed a few other things that strategy you can kind of use to break through, and you already know them. But man, I want to just say these are just the surface level things, subtle things and subtle changes that you can make easily. Because I don't want to give you too much, so you start making real excuses for not doing anything. Right? My whole goal with today is for you to take something from this message, employ it in your life right now, and begin to make a difference. One day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, right? Because it's going to take action to get it done. But I believe you can do it. I believe you're worthy of it. I believe it's possible for you, no matter where you are sitting right now, no matter what you've been through right now, that you can change the way you're going in your life. Because I'm doing it. If I can do it, you can do it. Right? Anyway, so the first one is kind of simple. Sounds simple, but are we really doing it? Setting some clear goals. Now we're getting into some strategies to break through the procrastination, these subtle things. One of them, I believe it's the first thing is setting clear goals, right? Goals and dreams, something simple. I think it says about setting something simple and clear so when someone reads it, they run towards it. Right? It gives you the clarity, the strength, and the confidence that you know you can get it done. Right? But it's got to have some impact. But I ain't talking about some simple goals. Because I believe what they say, when you pray for God, wants you to pray for big, bold prayers so that he can show up in your life. Right? Not the small things, but the big, bold. Be bold. But I'm not going to use realistic because I don't believe in that word. Right? So anyway, what is it? Clear, concise, actionable stuff that you can do. And then read it every day, morning, afternoon, and night. Morning, afternoon, and night. I know they got the vision board things going on, all that other stuff. But when I built my first business, it was really simple, man. I had a bathroom mirror and it was an installation business, and I needed all this equipment, and I needed, a manufacturer. I had a team, and so I just put all that stuff. Each goal was on the mirror. I looked at it every day. Right? 1 truck, 2 trucks, $100,000 expense, 3 trucks, 4 trucks, 5. It grew the business, right? But I looked at that stuff, man. I had a burning desire. That's all I thought about. What do you have that you're willing to do? Anything to get it done, man. Raise your hand if you got something. I've got 3 little reasons that run around here that we go visit while we're in Texas, right? And then not only them, but millions of other young babies that aren't as fortunate as they are, don't have the love and care that they are. I have a responsibility for them as well. You're wondering why I'm here, right? Anyway, set something clear, make it a burning desire, and do whatever it takes to get it done. Most important. And you're going to gain some momentum from that action, right? The next one is create routine. Change the routines. You hear about it all the time, morning routines, and everybody's writing books on morning routines. What's yours? Mine goes back and forth, right? But I'm getting it simpler and simpler. Do something every day to kind of create a routine towards changing who you are, right? Towards taking action, different action towards that thing you're procrastinating. But being aware of you're living in the state of procrastination like I've been in. And there's some things that you can do to change it, right? Man, okay, so establish a daily routine, builds momentum, consistency, and look, confidence moves everything. You can have all the potential in the world, right? For those of you that have all this potential, think you should be doing all these great things, right? But what happens with that is that you get to a certain point, and then we start to stall, and we start to stall because we don't see ourselves getting to that next level. We don't feel as possible to get to that next level, so we begin to settle for things. I want to tell you something about the power of certainty, right? So you have some confidence, you have clarity. Now you put certainty on top of that. When you become so certain that what it is that you're after, you're going to acquire, what it is that you want to become, you're going to become, what it is that you're willing to do to get that. It's so much so on point that nothing's going to stop you from doing it. You begin to see it happening for you. Right? See it before it happens. You got to see it in your mind before you can have it in your hand, baby. You got to see it in your mind before you can have it in your hand. Right? What are you looking at? What do you close your eyes and see? Right? When I close my eyes, I see millions of babies who have grown up, man, from the work that we've done, not just me, but we, the community of combat warriors, have done to change their lives, right? Living them empowering solutions that make a difference in their life. Oh, man. So, I don't know where I got that one from, but so that was breaking tasks down. I haven't done it yet, but I know it's been helping me. I've got all this crap running on in my brain and all these things I need to do, and then I sit down and I don't do anything. I don't write anything down. I just sit there for 20 minutes. Right? I never said I was perfect at this game, baby. Right? Especially when the heat is on. Right? When I've lost my marketing director and sister, and still struggling with some finances in my real estate business. Right? Still have that stuff going on, and getting this thing together, walking in faith that what I'm doing, I'm supposed to be doing, and without the real proceeds coming behind it, right? And then my whole health thing, right? And being able to show up still, man, I'm no different than you are. You can do this thing. So break some stuff down, simplify it, get that clear, simple goals. And when people see it and you see it, people getting to run to it, they get excited because it's clear and it becomes possible. So anyway, let me keep moving here. Talked about, this is the last one, using time blocking, right? And that's helped me. Hey, I got 90-day accountability. Man, that's great, Jackie. Procrastination is so bad. Woo, man. You need to let us know how that goes, right? Maybe you can share that with. Let us know what that group is, and we can do that. I like that. She's taking initiative, right? Nah, boy. And I appreciate your honesty, man, because I told you, some of this has been years of procrastinating over, right? In terms of showing up. And some of the other things I need to do more recently. So anyway, time, block your schedule, set things in place so that this is the time I'm doing it. Learn to say no. I'm going to say it again. Learn to say no to everybody. Be careful when you're saying it to your wife, you guys. Better make sure you got your head together on that one. But learn to say no. Parents, I just got to say this about this. Your kids, your children, they are the most valuable thing that you have. I get this. But I want you to understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay not to give them something. It's okay not to give in there's two types of crying for kids. One is when they really hurt, when they fell down, they bust their hip, and their head's all swollen up, and they're crying. That's a legitimate cry. That other whining, we all know it. We hear it in the stores. And then the parent shuffles, "What's wrong, baby? What do you need?" And the greatest manipulator are our little children. Ooh, that's another good session. Man. Sorry, parents. Don't mean to offend you. But we got to get better at that space. So, talked about subtle signs of procrastination. Our guest here, she's got a 90-day accountability program. And so tell me what it is. When did you become willing to do something different? When did you become open-minded to, hey, that's something wrong with you, right? And then take some action to do that. Drop it in there and let us know how that works out for you. And let's get connected, because I'd like to see your progress with that too, Jackie. So anyway, I like this last one. The other one was the last one, but I was wrong. Got one more. This one's the most powerful one out of all of them. And it's part of a verse. This morning, my wife and I, we were coming down to Galveston, and we were talking, and it was talking about get yourself some rest. Show yourself some love through resting. Quieting your mind, quieting your body, getting relaxed, getting revalued, recharged, right? And I wrote down, practice self-compassion. Are we doing that? A lot of times that's hard for people to do because we've got a low self-esteem or low worthiness feeling going on. And we don't feel like we're really worthy of that. We've been told in our lives that's being selfish. You shouldn't think of yourself that way. All that crazy conversation. Anybody else had some stuff like that? Don't do that. Don't be that boastful. Whatever that noise is. Be kind to yourself and acknowledge that progress is more important than perfection. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about the past failures that you've had. Don't worry about fill out that last statement. Don't worry, Jeff, I'm no longer going to worry about, and then drop it in there. And I'm going to begin to think about, become aware of the subtleties around that, and then be willing to dig deeper into the real underlying monster that's there. And that's that self-worth. That's that low self-esteem. That's those past failures that we've all been through. And be willing to do some work around that. And, you know, as I wrap this up, I want to say to you that without procrastination, it's like fear. We need fear for courage. We need procrastination to really, really, really get back to ourselves, to peel back the layers, to really kind of get down to the grit, to what's really holding us up, what's really showing up all the time. It's always the past experiences that dictate how our presence is. And that's the identity that we have. I'm talking about being willing to change your identity. Because you're only going to be as successful as you see yourself, or not successful as you see yourself. A lot of what we're talking about today has something to do with that. And if that's you and you're like, hey, well, I need some more information around that, I encourage you to hit my link right there and then drop a, pick a quick time on those calendars together and let's have a conversation around that as to how I can help you. Right? This lesson for me has been over a 30-year process and been blessed to be in front of lots of people who have shared wisdom and empowering solutions that I've been able to use and help other people along the way. And I want to tell you this as I say goodbye. It's a simple program. You got to be honest with yourself about what I'm talking about. Where is this fit in your life? Right? Be honest about that. And then you'll have to look back and say, oh man, there's just some of this old luggage that's going on in my life. Be open-minded to the possibilities of doing something different. And then be willing to take some action. Because it ain't going to change if you don't change. I said it ain't. My mom, I'm sorry. It ain't going to change if you don't change. Your thoughts, where'd I write this down? What you think about, you become. What you've thought about, you are. That's a Jeffism. What you think about, you become. What you thought about, you are. Do you like who you are right now? I know I don't. I ain't crazy about Jeff right now, but I'm getting better. Right? So watch that stinking thinking. Subscribe, share this information, set the notification bell up, and just remember as I close this thing up, it's the subtle things that you can take these simple strategies to begin to turn the knob backwards. And whatever's going on that's deep down inside of you, we can certainly help you get that figured out. And know the stinking thinking no longer has to hold you back. The stinking thinking can be the reason that sets you free and gets you moving forward. Because nothing should stop you from reaching your destiny. You should not be denied. Not stinking thinking, not limiting beliefs, and not self-worth. Peel back the layer, baby. Let's get busy making a difference. Hit me up. Look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for showing up today. Have a great, fantastic day. Watch that stinking thinking. Learn to love that person looking back at you in the mirror, because I love you. Take care now. Bye-bye.